There we have it there from, the man who holds a very, or covers a very big gap here in Nigeria when it comes to the oil and gas sector. Now, let's find out more about this spillover effect from what's going on in geopolitics. As Mr. Aligo Dangote said there, it's not far away from us. It might seem far by distance, but of course, we're feeling the pinch of what's going on between Iran and the United States. Well, we have someone who's active in the petroleum industry in Nigeria. He is the Publicity Secretary of Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria, Mr. Eche Idoko. I believe Mr. Dangote is also part of that body. Mr. Idoko, good morning. Welcome to the program. I wonder if these are good times or bad times for you guys who are major players in the petroleum industry in Nigeria.
Yeah, good morning, Ini. It's great to be here again on your show. It's a time of, how do I say it, mixed feelings, but more or less a moment of vindication for those of us in the refining space. I remember this year, at the opening of the year, we issued a position paper where we reiterated our confidence in the Nigerian market and our desire to put in more investment in the refining space as a body. Now, the war seemed to have vindicated the association and, of course, all our members in our push for a need to have a sustainable domestic refining strategy. Small wonder, even countries of Europe who had hitherto led a campaign for the movement from fossil fuel are beginning to rejig their energy security strategy. Countries like France, Germany are reopening their moribund refineries and increasing capacities of existing refineries. So yes, it's a time for countries who really want to save, who are so mindful of their citizenry to begin to reconsider their strategy when it comes to energy security, particularly in the area of refining. And would I say, it opens another window for a shift in global energy strategy from the initial globalization as it's known to regionalism, to self-sufficiency and self-sufficiency than international trade, as the case may be.
For Nigeria, there are talks as in we need government intervention. How do you see perhaps the government providing a kind of succor? Yesterday we reviewed the rate of increase since the war started. And Nigeria is like one of the highest when it comes to rate of change. And that we have seen the price of fuel at the pump, both diesel and for petrol. How do you, as a player in the industry, see the government giving succor? Because at the end of the day, as Mr. Dangote said in that track, it's the people who are feeling it. Purchasing power is depleting fast, very fast at this time. But we know it's a deregulated market, so government cannot determine the price. So what ways do you see help coming for the people, the consumers?
Yeah, okay. So interestingly, across the globe, like I had mentioned, there are countries who are rethinking their strategy, even the so-called first world. You'll see them actively designing policies that would help in ramping up a national refining capacity. Unfortunately, when things like this happen, countries within the African continent are the most hit. And so we have suffered heavily as a continent from the Iran war. And we're seeing astronomical rise in prices of petroleum products, particularly diesel and PMS. And before now, we have been hampering on what the government can do to help domestic refining. The target for us was to make sure Nigeria becomes a domestic hub, which is now even the street strategy by most nations of the world now. So you build regional hubs, become regional powers in supply, and you use your refining capacity as a survival mechanism. Countries are moving towards resilience more than even effectiveness. People are looking at domestic capacity than global trade at the moment, seeing what can happen in terms of conflicts such as the Iran war. And what we have said is that what the government needs to do is to, first of all, ensure adequate crude supply, domestic crude supply. You implement in full force what has already been provided for in the PIA, the DI, the DCSO. And not only do you implement the DCSO, you now also try to create a fair pricing mechanism for domestic refineries in Nigeria. I mean, countries like India is taking advantage of discounted crude that they are getting from Russia to build comparative advantage. And we are saying that as countries that already have in-house capacity in refining, that we can take advantage of fair crude pricing. Now that crude export is increasingly becoming unpopular, we'll take advantage of fair pricing of the crude commodity to give succor and give advantage to in-house refining in Nigeria. The target, remember, sometime in 2015 was to make Nigeria a regional hub of refined petroleum products. This Iran war offers us an ample opportunity. What can you do? Gracefully, we have investors like Dangote that built a mega refinery that has helped us. If not, what we should have been facing in terms of price would have been worse than this. And then you also have other refineries along in the flanks that are also doing things. What can the government do? It is time for the government to look at how they can push in incentives that have already been mentioned in a lot of literatures already, to make sure that these refineries ramp up productions, that these refineries become a major export hub. And then we'll de-emphasize exportation of crude. In the first place, the routes are becoming more problematic. It's becoming more expensive to export because of insurance cost and cost of shipping and freighting. So we look inwards. Since we have entrepreneurs that demonstrated capacity and ability to refine within, the government will work with them, create an enabling environment for them to expand, and then we can begin to look at capturing the regional market. We have a huge supply gap within even the West African region alone. And if you remember recently, countries like Ghana and South Africa began to turn to the Dangote refinery for a lot of for their national supplies. This is time for the government to key. It's strange that 1 month into the war, we haven't had the government setting up any strategic think tank to address this. And if they are set up, then they are obviously not talking to experts and stakeholders like our group and a lot of other groups within the industry.
Is if the government can intervene by giving perhaps incentive to Dangote and other refineries or operating in the country when it comes to the price of crude. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes, what we are suggesting is that we need fair pricing for
and what
crude.
Is
Before
fair?
now, we had raised our objections.
Sorry, Mr. Idoko. I'm asking because when you say fair, it has different colors at different times. This morning, we've seen the price of Brent above $100. Yesterday, it started with about $114 and then closed at about 98 after the announcement by President Trump. So when you say fair pricing, really, what does that look like in reality?
So we are saying that we need a pricing mechanism that is independent of Brent or WTI. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Please go ahead. Go ahead,
Okay.
Mr. Idoko, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so what I mean by fair pricing is that we need a pricing template that is independent of Brent and WTI. We are not exposed to the elements, the risk factors that have driven those prices high. We don't need to ship, we don't need the kind of insurances that would drive those prices high. And what we have said, even before the Iran war, was that, look, we are buying from local producers here. The constituents, the ingredients that constitute pricing for crude in those areas where you quote for Brent and WTI do not apply to us. And this war has even made the case more glaring. And what local refiners are saying is that develop a pricing mechanism that is unique to the Nigerian market, that is unique to the local refiners. When you remove those elements that in Brent and WTI would drive those prices and then situate it within the realities of our market, you see that local refineries will be able to get crude at a more reasonable price, at a more realistic price than what is being offered internationally now. You would, with the movement, with the galloping nature of the price, you know that most of the price is being driven majorly by speculations and speculations more or less. And so if we have a domestic pricing mechanism that puts into consideration the uniqueness of our market, you insulate us from the volatility that is happening as a result of the Iran war. That's what I meant by reasonable pricing.
Okay, so but I mean, in the absence of this, it does mean that Nigerians, you're on your own. We just have to continue pushing this, and of course, we expect this to feed into food items, transportation, if there's not already. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, but and also apart from that, apart from even while this is being considered, even ensuring that all the domestic refineries get crude and under the Naira for crude policy would even still help, even before you formulate the mechanism. And I must say that sometime last year, when we had our crude refiners conference, we sat down with the producers and it was agreed with the NUPRC that there was a need to actually look at the pricing mechanism. They agreed. They all agreed. It's just a matter of the government driving this. We've been waiting for that round table between us and them to be hosted by the NUPRC to agree on major pricing structures, and that hasn't happened till now. When we had that meeting, when we had that agreement, we didn't envisage the Iran war. The Iran war is upon us, and it's been 6 months since then. Nothing has been done. It's been 1 month since the war. 1 month into the war, we haven't had any congregation of experts to discuss how Nigeria can survive or even benefit from opportunities that this Iran war had provided.
All right, well, we do hope that we would hear soon. The president is in Lagos, so I hope he's watching this program, at least his advisors. Thank you so much, Mr. Iche Idoko, Publicity Secretary, Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria, CORAN, for your suggestion and time on the program.
Thank you very much.